Hello students, this is my third lecture on Unit 2 Kinematics of class 11th. In the previous lectures, I explained you about the basic concept, that is the difference between the distance and displacement and the difference between the speed and velocity. Now, in short, I am going to explain what is acceleration. Acceleration is represented by a small a, and it is the rate of change of velocity, or we can say that acceleration is equal to change in velocity upon time, or in other words we can say that the acceleration is the ratio between the change in velocity and time. So we can say that acceleration, what will be the change in velocity if we represent the initial velocity by u and final velocity by v. You have studied in class 9th about this in the chapter motion. So the final velocity minus initial velocity means v minus u upon t dash minus t, means final time minus initial time. Then we can get the value of acceleration, and the unit SI unit of acceleration is meter per second for velocity, and for time it is second. So finally what we get, the unit of acceleration is meter per second square. This is SI unit of acceleration. I explained you about the average velocity and average speed. Similarly, the average acceleration, or we can represent it as AAV. This average acceleration is equal to the change in velocity upon time taken. So this is average acceleration. We can define average acceleration. The definition is similar. Average acceleration is defined as the change in velocity of the object divided by the time taken for this change in the velocity. And suppose this change in velocity is represented by delta v, so we can represent it as delta v upon delta t. Here also we can represent delta v upon delta t. So average acceleration and acceleration are almost similar things, and the difference is only for the instantaneous acceleration. Instantaneous acceleration, it is defined as the acceleration of an object at any instant of time. Acceleration of an object at any instant of time. इंस्टेंट ऑफ टाइम मीन्स किसी भी क्षण, इसे बोला जाता है तत्कालिक. तत्कालिक मीन्स इंस्टेंटेनियस. हिंदी में बोला जाता है तत्कालिक त्वरण. त्वरण मीन्स एक्सीलरेशन. सो द इंस्टेंटेनियस एक्सीलरेशन इज रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय a, and a is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, a average means delta t tends to 0, and in place of a average we can write delta v upon delta t. So this is delta v upon delta t, or we can write it as dv upon dt to show the instantaneous acceleration. And we can show the acceleration as acceleration is d by dt of velocity. And what is velocity? It is dx upon dt. So it will become d square x upon dt square. Acceleration is represented as d square x upon dt square. This you have to remember. Now we'll discuss about the three equations of motions. First one is v is equal to u plus at. Second is s is equal to ut plus half at square, and third one is v square is equal to u square plus 2as. You have studied this in class 9th in the same chapter motion. V is final velocity, u is initial velocity, a is acceleration, t is time, s is distance. And by using these parameters you have derived these equations of motion by using graphical method in class 9th, but in class 11th you have to derive these equations by using calculus method. So one by one I will explain how the derivation of these equations. So let's take first equation. To derive v is equal to u plus at by using calculus method. So let's start this derivation. We know that acceleration is the rate of change of velocity. It is represented by dv upon dt, and we can cross multiply this to get dv is equal to a dt. And if we integrate this equation, suppose this equation is equation number 1, integrate equation 1, so what we'll get, integration sign dv is equal to, a is constant, so it should be taken outside the sign of integration, so it will be dt under integration sign. So we get, when we integrate small velocities, small velocity is represented by dv, then we get the final velocity, means summation of all the small velocity. Integration means summation of all the small velocities as v, then it is a, and summation of small time is represented by dt, so it is represented by t. But according to the rule of mathematics, a constant k comes with this, so we got this equation v is equal to at plus k, where k is the constant of integration. This is constant of integration. Suppose this is equation number 2, v is equal to at plus k. Now when time is 0, means just before the beginning of the motion, the time is 0, so what will be the velocity at that time? Just at the time of beginning of that motion, the time is 0, and the velocity will be, the final velocity, means velocity will be the initial velocity, v is equal to u. This v is representing the velocity and this is the initial velocity, so we can say that the velocity which is at the beginning of the motion is u and the time is taken as 0. So when we keep this in equation number 2, put these in equation number 2, what we'll get, in place of v you can write u because it is initial velocity, a into, in place of time you will write 0 plus k. So finally what we got, k is equal to u. Suppose this is third equation. Now if we put this third in second, we can say that the value of constant k is equal to u. So when we keep this k is equal to u in second equation, we will get v is equal to at plus u, and finally rearrange this, we will get v is equal to u plus at. So this is the proof of first equation of motion by using calculus method. So there are 3 equations which you used in this proof. dv is equal to a dt. From where it came I explained you, because a is equal to dv upon dt. Then step number 2, I have integrated this equation, and after integration we got v is equal to at plus k, where k is the constant of integration. This is the second equation. And the third step, we will think about the velocity at the time of start of the motion, and the time at the start of motion is 0 second, so we will take t is equal to 0, but at that time the initial velocity is given, so v is equal to u. When we put this t is equal to 0 and v is equal to u in equation number 2, then we will get k is equal to u. And when finally we keep k is equal to u from equation 3 into, then we will get v is equal to u plus at. So this is the first derivation. Now the second derivation is the displacement of particle after time t. This was the first derivation. We can call it as velocity attained by the particle, or we can say that velocity attained by particle or body after time t. And now we have to prove the second equation of motion. The second equation of motion is to prove S is equal to ut plus half at square by calculus method, or this is the proof of displacement of particle after time t. So let's start this. We know that velocity is represented by this ratio of displacement and time. Displacement is dx and time is dt. So v is equal to dx upon dt. Cross multiply this, we will get dx is equal to v dt, and we know, we have proved v is equal to u plus at. Suppose this is first equation, this is second equation. Put second in first. On putting second in first, what we'll get? Dx is equal to u plus at in place of this v and dt. And then we will integrate this. Integrate equation number 3. Suppose this is equation number 3. So we'll get integration sign dx is equal to integration sign u plus at dt. Now open the right hand side equation as u dt plus integration sign at dt. U is constant, we can take out u dt, plus a is constant, we can take out, this is t dt, u, and in place of integral sign of dt with dt, dt is the small time, and you know that summation of all the small time can be represented by t. So in place of integration sign dt, we can write t plus a in place of this t dt. According to the rule of integration, this will be t square upon 2, and plus a constant k will come, and on the left hand side, if we integrate dx, then we will get the displacement as x. So x is equal to ut plus a t square by 2. Now we will discuss from where this t square by 2 came. According to the rule of integration is given here, it means t to power n we are taking for your explanation. So it will be t to power n plus 1 upon n plus 1, where n is the power of t. So here the t has got single, means there is no power of t, so we can imagine as the power 1. So t to power 1 in place of n, we will write 1. So it is t to power 1 plus 1 upon 1 plus 1. That's why it became t square upon 2. Hope you have understood this. Now k is the constant of proportionality. K is constant of proportionality. And again, as we have done in the previous proof, when t is equal to 0, then x will be, means displacement will be represented by x naught. Now put this in equation, which equation? suppose this equation is equation number 4. Put this in equation number 4, then what we'll get when we put this t is equal to 0 in this. So this and first term and second term will become 0, and in place of x you will put x naught. So finally we'll get k is equal to x naught. So k is equal to x naught we will get, and now put k is equal to x naught in the equation x is equal to x naught plus ut plus et square by 2 or half et square, and this was our equation number now we got this equation x is equal to x naught plus ut plus half et square after putting k is equal to x naught in the same equation number 4. So when we take x naught in the left hand side, we will get x minus x naught is equal to ut plus half at square. This should be in bracket. Since x minus x naught is s and this is the displacement of particle in time interval t, so in place of this x minus x naught we can write s is equal to ut plus half at square. So finally this was the required equation, s is equal to ut plus half at square. Let's recap this. The proof which was required to be done was s is equal to ut plus half at square, and we know that v is equal to dx upon dt. Dx is the displacement, dt is time. Cross multiply this, we'll get dx is equal to v dt. We got first equation. This will be the first step of your proof, and we'll use the first equation of motion in the proving of this second equation of motion. First equation is v is equal to u plus et. So consider this equation as second equation. So put this second equation v is equal to u plus at in first equation. So in place of v, in place of this v, what we have substituted? We have substituted u plus at in place of v, and after that we will integrate this equation. Suppose this is equation number 3. We will integrate this equation number 3. So on the right hand side, as a result of integration of dx, we will get x on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we will get integration under integration sign u plus at dt, and after separating these integration, these expressions, these terms, we will get integration under integration sign u dt plus under integration sign at dt. U is constant, that's why it is taken out of the integral sign, and it is integral sign dt plus a. Here also a is constant, it is taken out, and in the under the integration sign we took t dt. This is t to power 1. Don't get confused with t dash. This is t to power I am writing here also t to power 1. So on the right hand side, the small time dt, after integration, in place of this we can write t. A is constant, and according to the integration rule, as I explained, t to power n, this is the integration rule, t to power n dt under integral sign. Finally, if we want to remove this integral sign, then the power 1 should be added to the power. Here the power is n, suppose. So t to power n plus 1 upon n plus 1, it will become t square upon 2. So that's why we have written, in place of this t to power 1, we have written t square upon 2 plus k is constant. It is constant of proportionality, and after this we refer to the initial when the time is 0, then the displacement is represented by x is equal to x naught. When we put this in the equation number 4, this is equation number 4, then we will get k is equal to x naught, because due to t this first and second term will become 0, so k is equal to x naught. And again we will put this k is equal to x naught in the same equation to get x in place of x naught. In place of k we will put x naught, in place of k we will put x naught plus ut was already there plus half at square, and in this way we will get this x naught on the left hand side, so it will become x minus x naught is equal to ut plus half at square, and x minus x naught is equal to s, where s is the displacement of the particle in time interval t. So in place of this x minus x naught we will write s, and hence it is proved. Thank you very much for watching this video.